Yes.
Yeah, compares. So I'm going to ask you the question again, because we don't want to. So tell everybody hi, because you know you love the camera like your mother.
Introduce yourself.
Alright, and you want to, I think they met you already, but tell them who you are.
My name is Paris.
Paris what?
Paris Even McLean.
Kevon. So Daddy has a question for you, and I want you to answer the question. I think I asked her, but I want you to tell me the question. You want to take off your tie, everybody can see your ear, beautiful ear. Mommy give you a beautiful hairstyle. Yeah. Alright. So, which out of Mommy and Daddy, which one do you love the most?
The same.
You love us the same? Why you love us the same?
Because I love Mommy more, but I love you too. So I love you the same way.
The same way. So don't, Mommy is rough sometimes, that is rough.
No, you're rough sometimes.
But Mommy is rough too.
No, you're not rough. My boys are.
All the boys are rough. Alright Mom, I hear you. Alright. I won't steal any more of my video time. So tell them bye. They're going to do a video on parents. Semaj just wake up. But Semi don't understand this question. Semi, come here.
Bye bye.
Semaj just wake up. Alright.
Going to have the next video. Bye.
So Semi just wake up with him blanket. Tell everybody that's what you do, the sniffer man. Semi, tell us. We're talking about parenting today. So tell us, Semi. Do you love Mommy and Daddy? You just wake up at 2 moody. Alright, but say hi to the camera. Say hi. Take out this. Alright, go.
Take away the
Then we must do a video now, alright? Alright, welcome back guys to Kingdom Expression, where it's all about changing life through effective living. You'd have met Paris already from previous videos, but I had to bring her this time around. She did something recently on my way home from work. I think it was last week where she and I were talking. And I felt led to ask her a question on which of us she loves the most, because when I was younger and I've always talked to children and kids, they always prefer one parent than the other. Well, some might say she's too young to give an honest response, but as young as she is, I think it triggered me. It triggered a response, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Her response, she said she loves us both. And I feel so good because it's something I have been working hard on, along with my wife, to ensure in a household we have one voice. So we're separate individuals. Throughout the years we have been arguing and discussing heavily on how we want the culture of our household to look like. I want, when I say one thing, the same thing she says. And of course we have different views on different things. And over a period of time then we would have learned how to understand each other. And so to hear my daughter say to me that she loves us the same that day in the vehicle, I never had the camera to catch her. And so I said I'm going to ask her before I do my video, just in case that she wasn't thinking clearly. I wanted to find out what and how she felt and why she should have said that. And she gave the same response. So it triggered me now to run to a part 2 of parenting, best parenting tips, or at least some parenting tips that should be considered as we look at raising kingdom families. We have already stressed the importance of how parenthood demands a great deal, and so we want to get right into it. I want to thank the new subscribers, and we're growing guys, we're growing. People are sharing the love, they're sharing the support, and I am so grateful for you on the journey with me. Bring some other person along with you. Help us share about the kingdom of God. Alright? Blessings. Words are powerful. Weigh your words before sharing them. You'll never fully understand or fully comprehend how important it is to weigh your words as it relates to your children. Because we become so frustrated at times as parents. I came home to see my wife was frustrated. It was all on her face. And I had to just get at work because she had them all day and I was out, working in the kingdom, in the vineyard, so to speak. And so it can push us to a point that will allow us to say some hurtful things to our spouse and naively, innocently to our children. And so I'm encouraging you parents, as find some ways to tap out. When you're frustrated, rather than yelling all that anger and bottled up emotion to your child who is so innocent, who's exploring the world, I implore you to find some way to tap out, find some way how you can speak to your child without saying harsh words. I don't know about you, but many of us have remembered words that our parents or God would have said to us when we were a child, and it never leaves us. But for me, for one of the situations, I remember when my mother, being an adult now, I can only stretch my imagination to begin to think how she had felt when I remember we were in the market in St. Anne's Bay, and she said to me how much she was growing to dislike me. What pulled me the most was the fact that she had never told me she loved me. And to hear a mother say to you she's going to dislike you because I accidentally threw away some Malta in her bag, some Malta juice, and my other brother did it afterward and she never said a word about it, but she said that to me. It tore me apart. And it was my brother Rusheda who later he was there and he said to me, I look so sad, and he said to Mommy is stressed, don't take it seriously. What he said really helped me because I felt so hurt, because how can a mother say to her child, I'm beginning to hate you, when they have never even said they love you, never hugged you as a mother. And I'm not saying this in any way to hurt her because she knows I love her dearly. Remember this not once because it was out of frustration and pressure she should have said it. And so this time, guys, I want you to understand the importance of weighing your words before you say them. Find a way to tap out. Like my wife and I have found rhythm so far. We need some more because the frustration gets realer and realer every time. But once I come and see her face, I know it's time to jump in and to see what I can do, and vice versa. She knows that in the evenings after work, I am very drained. I get very moody. So she'll try her best to assist me or help me to come off the road faster or whatever way. We find ways how to cope with the frustration. And having the kids 24 hours still, but having them along the journey can be very
stressful.
Kids need playtime to stretch their mind, be creative, and be free-spirited. That's why we are all amazed by every child, simply because of their innocence. They have no money worries like you and I. They have no bill, no work, no deadlines to meet, and obligations to satisfy. They are just living, and so they need a playtime. I don't know if you do it or you watch your kids, for those who have children, and just to see the level of innocence they possess. And so most times as we become so rigid in our work and on our deadlines, like for me, my wife can tell in the mornings I get, when it comes to the time of the mornings, when it's near the time for us to leave, I get very edgy and very miserable and fussy because I want to reach on time to drop off the kids and then to drop her off and then for me to head to work, and I want to be on time. And so this sometimes allow me, and even in the evenings it allow me to somewhat rob. So she can tell, like in the evenings the kids have a routine. Once they enter the van, they take off their shoe and they start jump from the back of the van to the front, and they over and on. I just pray to God every day that when I drive, He protects them because that's their playtime. They find it fun to play together. And so I want to encourage you parents, for those like myself who's a tickler for time and getting things done, don't forget to give them their playtime. So at home, my wife and I try, as the kids get home, it's like it's a grand finale. They are just all over the place, running and playing because they need their playtime. Making those parents who by some chance you might forget, kids need their playtime to work their brain, to exercise their imagination, and it's fun sometimes to watch them and to listen to them. I do it several times and I am amazed when I listen to them and see how they behave. Every child needs a conducive emotional climate in order for them to express themselves. Such emotional climate include hugs, kisses, pampering. I don't know if you do it, but I'm encouraging you today. Create an emotional climate for your children or child to mesh with you emotionally. Hugs, kisses, pampering, rub them down, talk to them. The kids, I get annoyed. Paris is extremely clingy, and Semaj is too. If I call him right now to come and kiss me, come and kiss me. I always say I'm the only man he should ever kiss. Yeah, man, I wouldn't stress that no further. So the point I want you to get, guys, is you have to create a climate where your kids express themselves. I never grew up like that. My mother and father never hugged us and pampered us. And I remember hugging for the first my aunt, Auntie Marcia, that's Stephen's mom. I remember she hugged their children, and I felt so bad because I don't know what it felt like. I never knew what it felt like. And so it was then she hugged, Kevon, come hug me, and she created that bond because she was always present, and her husband, they tried to be present in their kids' life, emotional. And Stevie might watch this later on and say, and so in then nothing go. But the point I'm getting across, I knew that I never wanted to sabotage my children from that experience I would have had, not having that emotional climate to share hugs and kiss and pampering. Sometimes the kids, they cry at night sometimes to sleep in our rooms. My wife and I have to put them when they fall asleep, they cry around their room because they just want to be around us. They want to hug and kiss, and we do it, but to show that they become so attached, and I can see the difference in them, how they behave towards us, and in public they're very loving and very expressive. Atmosphere I always wanted to create, and so I want you to take note of creating an emotional climate for your children. It will allow them to grow. Never compare your children. This is ever repeating mistakes that we as parents we will make and have made. We keep on comparing our children, having two different genders, two different individuals. I see how completely different they are, but again how connected they are. We have to try our best not to compare them. Like Paris, you know, girls sometimes are more disciplined when it comes down to your books and getting things done. So Paris is a tickler for our homework. Paris ensures she comes home, she reminds us, because one day I got so mad and yelled at her that it's her responsibility to remember her homework, it's not mine. So from that day onwards, Paris doesn't miss her homeworks. She's so Daddy, as she bursts the door open when we come in, Daddy, I got homework today. And sometimes the Paris, a little later on from now, she's on time. Semaj, you know Semaj is growing, but Semaj don't show much regard for books so far. You know, boys are playing, but he shows to some great level. But guess what? At school, he's quite brilliant. So I now have to understand that I can't compare them and I can't match them. I have to understand their personality. Paris is more expressive, Semaj is, but on the more reserved side. Paris is way more friendly to people, Semaj is not. Semaj is rather reserved and observant, and will be observing you until he becomes more acquainted, and he might speak or he might express himself. When the girls are playing, Semaj don't, because I have 3 nieces who live nearby, and Semaj will not play with them. Paris will go and play, Semaj will not play. Stay mommy and daddy, he doesn't go and play with the girls. They're different. And when I was in grade 7 to live with my grandparents to go to high school, they compared me every day with my bigger brother Rusheda. Every day what Rusheda would do, what I would not do, and all. And I had struggled a little, to a great extent. But gradually I learned. I understood myself, I became comfortable with my skin, but it had a toll on me. So I want you, peer, and I see my mother, she does it then in the past with us as children. She compared. You cannot do that. Don't make that mistake comparing children. Don't allow them to live under that shadow, under that stressor. They are unique individuals by themselves. They should not be compared. So please, don't you compare your children. Don't make promises to your children that you know you will not keep. A number of us have been suffering from broken promises by our parents. I have suffered greatly. My father saying he would carry us to the beach, he never did. I can't recall going to the beach with my family as a sibling, and it's 7 of us, what? 7 fingers, yeah. And we have not gone out together. It's now being adults, we try like Christmas to come together and cook and so forth. We never had that camaraderie. We never had that unity growing together. And even though I see those remnants and I see how that void when we were children, how it affects us with adults now, because we were never connected. Broken promises by parents. Paris, my daughter teaches it every day. Like last night, I bought a cake. I love pastries. She loves pastries too, so she got a direct gene from me. And so she said to me last night that, Daddy, you promised me cake from today. When will I have the cake? And I remember, I go take the cake in the fridge and never eat it off. She remembers everything, and I see it over and over. Even your wife or your husband, Don't make promises you can't keep. So parents, because sometimes we get so emotional, we want to get rid of them, we get annoyed, you want to say, go on, alright, take it, tomorrow I'll give you. But you know you will not commit to it. Don't make promises you cannot keep. It stifles your children, and it will affect them when they grow older. So I want you to be mindful of these tips. Be careful. Allow your children to enjoy their childhood. Don't rob it from them. Michael Jackson said in a song he sang, "Have you seen my childhood?" That's why he would have spoken a particular way and bought all these goodies and this land, big place, Neverlands, and all because he wanted to relive a moment that was stolen from him. Because his parents wanted him to be productive. Parents, don't push your children beyond. I know my daughter that she's exceptionally brilliant. I see it, I know it, and I have to be careful at school. I don't push her, and she loves book. I try not to push her because I don't want her to become a lab rat, a nerd, so to speak. I want her to experience her childhood. At school, her teachers tell me that she has an impeccable memory. Afraid of her, but she remembers everything from last year. She has a memory beyond. And so I know that people want to take advantage of that and will push her. Paris saves the day every time. And I have to be careful not to push her. So I tell my wife, doesn't matter what, if she loves it, we'll be there to guide her, but we'll not push her. I want her to enjoy her childhood, to play, to talk, to be silly. I will not steal that from her at the expense of being productive to make us as parents look good. And many of us are equally guilty. Every child, they were born with a gift or ability. But as parents, we push them because we see it and we forget that they need to live. Life is not just about existing, it's about living. And later on I will talk more about that topic. But just remember these pointers, and thank you for tuning with me. Kingdom Expression, as we change life through effective living. If we live, we will see change, and our light will shine, and others will be impacted, and they will glorify the Father which is in heaven. I love what I'm getting so far. I love the energy, I love the response, I love the encouragement. Blessings everybody. Peace out. Thank you for being with me another time on Kingdom Expression. And by the way, big up to me, my barber, Rusheda, my wife. Yeah, me I go ball now, and she start helping me to cut back on some money. Well, no, the cut back still, but if I start trim me, I want a new shave in order to get my head extremely bald. But what? How she go on? She go on good? How we go on? So I trim it, and then she showed me on a patch for my head, and then she helped me line up and all. So I thank my barber, my new barber, for the past month. You know, my traditional barber vex with me, but you know the reason I'm not come back and because I find no new barber and switch, and because wife the both, I will start the sky got wrong, isn't it? Blessings and peace out.